Hello and welcome to another video. As you can see today, we're already starting in the middle of the video, which is a little bit different for me, I know. Oop, sorry, that was my dog. Anyway, what I wanted to do this week for the study session was hair. I feel like all of the hair that I draw tends to look the same, and I have like this anime sort of hairstyle type thing, and the curls are like really loose, and I don't know, I feel like all the hair I draw looks pretty much the same, especially for guys. I feel like for female hairstyles it's a little bit easier for me just because there's so much diversity, but with male hairstyles, not that there isn't diversity. Obviously you see I've drawn some already here, there is some diversity, but I feel like for me, I struggle with it. So I was like, okay, this week I'm going to head and study some male hairstyles. And so I didn't want to draw them with like a pencil. I just wanted to focus on the hair and the shape of the hair. And so I was like, okay, I'll print out some bases. I made these bases, by the way. I drew these bases just so I could have a base to draw over. And then I'm just going to color the hair in with markers, just so that way I'm focusing only on the hair. I don't want to focus on the face. I don't want to be worried about the faces looking different and that affecting the way I see the hair. I just want to focus on the hair. And so I did that. And I picked out a couple of hairstyles that I wanted to draw. But unfortunately, I lost half of the footage for like the red guy and the green guy. I lost the footage for those. So I was recording it. I guess I know it for a fact. I 100% for a fact hit record. It's trying to play in my face. My phone is trying to play in my face. I act like I didn't hit record. I fucking hit record. But it's not, you can't always do stuff about that. So we're just gonna get the bottom two guys instead of all four of them today. This is why the video is so short. So I'm sorry about that, you guys. But I will still talk about them, and I will still, I guess, throw up the references for them. So I guess we can go ahead and start talking about the red guy first. Okay, so here is the reference for the red guy. I picked this hairstyle because I was like, it's short on the sides, but it's like long on the top of it, and it's a little bit curly, a little bit wavy, and so I was like, that's a little bit different than anything I would normally draw, and so I decided, let's go for it. And so I really am sad that I lost the footage for this one, because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it turned out pretty well. The curls are not as defined as I would like them. There's like no beginning and end to them, which is a little bit of something I struggled with. But I know that now because I practiced this, and I can practice that in the future. And so I like the way the red guy turned out. I feel like the sides are like too dark. I feel like there should be a little bit more variation in color there, a little bit more highlights. But overall, I would say he came out pretty good. And then moving on to the green guy, I'll go ahead and put the reference up for him right there. Even though you guys don't see me do it, but still, references are important, I feel like. Anyway, so the one thing I think I was trying to get with these short hairstyles is that I really wanted to figure out how to get the fade right on the sides, because I don't know, I feel like whenever I try to draw a fade, it never really looks like a fade. And so the way that I sort of came up with trying to do the fade was I was just gonna put lighter colors at the bottom and then put it in like a sort of gradient until it gets to the darker sorts of parts at the top. And this green guy was a little bit harder because since I guess the way that the reference was set up, there was not really a lot of highlights in his hair, and so it was just pretty much just one color except for the parts that were lower, the tapered parts of his fade. And so I was like, I don't know if it's really gonna look like hair. And also when I did this reference, I picked him with a beard because I never draw facial hair, and whenever I do draw facial hair, it's just like a bunch of little lines. And so I wanted to challenge myself not only with hair on people's heads but also facial hair. And you also see me do that with the yellow guy here in a minute, but we're talking about the green guy for right now. So yeah, the only thing I felt like I kind of didn't get with the fade is that I kind of outlined the edges that were closer to his eyebrows with the darker color instead of just leaving all of it the sort of the lighter color, and I feel like that really kind of messed up the edges of his fade. I don't know, I feel like it makes it look kind of worse. I wish I had kept all of the light parts at the bottom of his haircut pretty much, and I end up doing that again with this yellow guy, and I think it's just because I was overthinking it a little bit there, and trying to overcorrect when I should have just left things the way that they were. I do tend to do that a little bit. I tend to overcorrect, but that's, we know, we live and we learn. We try to move past mistakes, and sometimes we gotta make them a couple times before we figure it out, so yeah, that was pretty much okay for the green guy. I don't know if the beard was 100% successful. Like I said, I think I need a little bit more practice with beards. And also, I feel like if I get better at beards, it will also help me draw people a little bit older, because older people, I mean, not to say younger people can't have beards, but I mean, if we're being honest, facial hair is typically an older person thing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get facial hair down when I practice a little bit more, because mostly I just draw like a little goatees right now. And I think this ages people a little bit, but like a full beard will age a man, you know what I mean? Yeah, so talking a little bit about the guy in the black, his reference, I'll go ahead and throw that up for you guys right here. I picked this hairstyle because it was like this really choppy sort of thing, and I was like, how the fuck would you even go about doing that? So I was like, let's try. And you know what? I think that one actually came out the best. I mean, it maybe doesn't too look similar to that one, because the highlights in his hair, there's at the top of his head, there's like a lot of like really light hairs there, and I didn't really replicate that 100% correctly, but I feel like it's got like the essence of that haircut. So I think the black one turned out really well, and since I feel like it turned out pretty good, I don't really have too much to say about it. I just did this like sort of back and forth things with my wrist just to try to get that sort of choppiness. And so I feel like I kind of achieved that there. So that one was good. And so yeah, that was the black one. And then moving on to the yellow one, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I fucked up the yellow one. The yellow one does not look good, like, at all. I'm sure it looks fine in like retrospect, but in my own mind, I'm like, that is so goddamn ugly. Because you know what was the problem is that I picked 3 colors for each of these, except for the red one. The red one actually does have a fourth little bit of red, a darker red in there, but for the majority of them I only picked 3 colors. And so what my issue was with this yellow one is, you guys already know how I feel about yellow blonde, but I already had these colors set out, so I was just like, just use the markers that I have set out. I don't feel like going and grabbing new markers. And then also I did not choose markers that will blend in together. Like the darkest yellow that I pick here is too dark to blend together with the mid-tone that I picked, and so it ends up being a little bit too contrasty in a way that's not good. They don't blend out in the way that I typically like to do, like with the black one and the red one and the green one. Yeah, it was too much difference in between the values. So that's pretty much the majority reason why it does not look very nice in my opinion. And then also the fact, because that darkest one is so dark, I really could not blend out to the part where I did his fade, his tapered sides or whatever. It really would not blend out. His hairline that I outlined with the darker color, it really is not going to blend out. So that was my fault there. But you know, we live and we learn. If I was going to do that hairstyle again, it's not that, you know what, it's not that the shape of the hairstyle is wrong, it's just really the coloring is what's throwing me off for that one. And so well, yeah, I mean, the shape is not 100% there, but I feel like also the color of it is sort of influencing me to think that the shape is off also. So I just need to practice that one a little bit more, and also choose a little bit better color options next time. But overall, I feel like these hair studies were pretty successful. I was gonna do 8. I do have 4 more references, but I think I'll save those ones for another time, just so that way I am continuously practicing some male hairstyles. Overall, I do think I learned a little bit from these. I will go ahead and keep trying to do facial hair. Hopefully that maybe is not going to be our next study, but it is something I'm going to keep in the back of my mind for me to get better at. Yeah, I might do different bases, because this guy's face, I feel like it does kind of lend to other things, but maybe not. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and thank you guys for spending this time with me. I'll go ahead and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.